Welcome to the Anxiety Answer course. This is where your journey begins. My name is Austin Go. I will be your instructor. This is Joe, your assistant instructor.
Hi, everybody. So yes, as Austin says, my name is Joe, and I'm really here to give you the perspective of someone who's been through the course and have achieved success with the anxiety answer. And we're going to give you two perspectives. One from, someone who has suffered through anxiety at a younger age, and then also from Austin's experience to help you accelerate your process.
Here is what we're going to cover. What we're going to achieve during the Anxiety Answer course. I will share with you my story of finding inner peace and how I navigate my life journey in crisis and in good times. Also, clients who have got their anxiety under control. After doing the Anxiety Answer course, what are the key differences between traditional solutions and the Anxiety Answer course? I found that traditional solutions, they do not solve the root cause of the problem, but they only give a temporary relief, and I will share that with you. We are also going to show you the key to your success is to have a strong mindset so that you will take action needed to succeed. In my experience, what makes the difference is the mindset, and not only the actions. We will need both to achieve the mindset of a health champion. Lastly, there's some important things to remember going into this, which I'm going to share with you. What we are expecting to achieve in this course. The first thing, calm from chaos. The general population are living in inner chaos, turmoil, and rumination, as well as external interference. We also want to make sure you will not suffer any random anxiety or panic attacks. We want to have our defense mechanism under control. It's important for us to stay calm when solving any problems. Life is a series of problems or challenges. It's important that we learn to stay calm. You also learn how to manage people who add to your chaos. We need to learn how to stay calm, especially if you are managing people at work or at home.
Yeah, what a lot of people, they don't realize is a big source of their anxiety is external. And it's actually the players in your life who will take you off your path and add to your anxiety. And these could even be your friends, your family members, or your employers or colleagues. So managing that is a very important part of getting the calm from the chaos.
It's also important to have our emotions under control. When we can control our thoughts, actions, and emotion, that is the ultimate freedom. Imagine in a situation where people around you are really irritating and you need to stay calm to deal with the situation. You will be in control at it and deal with it in a rational way. You will also learn to regain focus and direction, to stay on track and maintain your calm into the future. It's important to know that the direction must be set.
Yeah, so this is mainly so once we find that calm, it's knowing the direction and sticking to it. So in the future, you avoid any future anxiety and you can navigate through your life without worries.
You must treat this course as the most important months of your life. It's important that you focus. You need to focus on one course until you succeed. A lot of people try to do as many courses. It can be distracting and affect your focus and hinder your success.
Yeah, what we find is that a lot of people, when they make the step to change and to improve, they say, okay, I'm going to do a diet course. I'm going to also do a medication course. And then I'm going to do the anxiety answer too. And that's not going to be effective because you need to pour all of your energy into this course. And only once you've completed this course successfully, then you can focus on doing other things. Because the person who chases many rabbits catches none.
Therefore, we need to go deep, not wide. Everything you need is within the course. Ultimately, we have to go all in. This is the only way for you to succeed in this course.
Yeah, and this is really what being scientific is, because when you do a scientific experiment, you need to only isolate one variable at a time. So if you have all these different solutions and you're trying all of them, you may think, okay, it's my diet that's contributing to my anxiety or fixing my anxiety, or it's my new exercise regime. So you will not be able to effectively measure what is working. And the reason we say just focus on this is because once you know what is working, you have to do more of that.
It's also very difficult for most people that you have to let go of old habits. Change is difficult, but it's necessary to achieve our goal.
Yeah. And, this journey is going to be very rewarding. And the knowledge and skills you learn and this sense of calm can last for the rest of your life, if not many, many years. But in order to do that, you will have to change and you will have to let go. And even like as you made the journey into YouTube, you have to change, right?
That's right, yeah.
And was it easy?
No, it was difficult, it's tough, but I still need to discipline myself to go through it.
And you always explain the story of the eagle.
Yes, so the eagles have a life of 75 years. So when they reach 40, the feather is too heavy, the claws is blunt, you cannot catch anymore, the beak is blunt. So if the eagle cannot catch any prey, he will die. There's no food. So what the eagle do is to change. So most eagles who want to live will fly to the top of the mountain and hit the peak and break the peak on the rock so that you grow a new one. Wait for 3 months. Then after that, you will pluck the feathers and pluck the claws until the new one comes out. So this is quite painful for the eagles if you want to live for another 30 years.
Yes, but if you can go through that process of change, it will be worth it. So this is something that you really have to want, and you really want to have that calm and that sense of direction in your life. Once you have it, your life will be amazing, and I can say that as being through this, but it will require change on your side.
You need to discipline yourself, being strict in the foundation phase. We will need to give ourselves time to build our foundation. You need to be patient and consistent when doing the exercises.
Yeah, and what we find is, because the system works so well, is that even after a week or two, you will start to feel better and you will start to see changes. But what is not a good thing to do is once you start to feel better, you try to do everything all at once. In the building phase, it's important you just focus on the course and do not add any other activities into your life so that you can get out of the building phase and that the changes will be permanent.
Therefore, you must remember, progress is going to come from reduction instead of accumulating. Most of your progress will come from letting go.
Okay, so now we're going to talk to you about finding that inner peace.
So you can see the differences. When I was young, my eyes are wide, I can't focus, I lose a lot of weight, I'm so skinny. By focusing on one thing, I transform into a much more better looking guy. By looking at it, I'm much less emotional. And also, I'm more focused. You can see I have a vision and a direction forward.
So we're going to discuss with you about facing the challenges of life. And, Austin always used to say to me, life is a series of problems or a series of challenges. We like to look at it like challenges because it's more positive. And one of the reasons why we're so anxious as a society is that we haven't been equipped to really deal with the challenges of life.
Facing any challenges in life can be dramatic and can be very hard. I'm sure you face the same. I'm from Malaysia. When I was young, there were political turmoil in Malaysia. The political environment was traumatic. As a kid, we saw the ruling party kill locals.
So I remember you were telling me when you were younger, you used to have to hide away. And, obviously you must have felt anxious and scared.
So obviously at the age of 15, as a boy, as a man, I have to find a way to defend my family. So I was hiding under the drain and just holding an iron bar in case the soldiers would come and start shooting at us. and it was very, very anxious. I was like in the verge of like dying, It's so difficult, but I hang on to it. So after the incident, my parents decided to let me go overseas. I decided to move to the UK at the age of 17. I came to the UK to study abroad without my family and a new environment and culture, which was a shock to my system. The food was terrible. The people and the environment was strange to me. I remember it was October. I arrived in the UK. It was so cold that I wanted to go back home. Another thing I did not expect is racial abuse. The social and political environment was not like today's. In the 70s, racism and abuse was everywhere. It's very common, and I was constantly spat at and calling chinky or yellow belly. This was shocking to me.
So, that's hard to imagine these days. But like, how did that make you feel? You were young, and were you feeling, was every day a struggle? Like, how did that make you feel in the beginning?
Well, I was confused. I mean, I always thought that the British people are kind and welcoming, but obviously they're good and bad in every race, right? I cannot just say. I might at that time, probably that period of time is different from now. So obviously I'm very anxious, worry every day. And every day I want to go back to Malaysia.
Were you on edge as well because of?
Yes, every time I go out, I'm on edge because I don't know what's going to happen. People might beat me up. I don't know what life's going to be every day. So I'm always very careful and choose the time to walk and choose the place to, where I walk, where there's a lot of people.
So that sounds like you're living in constant worry of, your safety.
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm constantly worried because I have to go to work in the evening. Sometimes in the evening it's quite dark and there's not many people around. And so I carry a little stick with me just to defend myself.
So that already is quite a lot of anxiety as a young man. So then, what happened with your leg and as you went to work and stuff like that?
Yes, I was working in the club as a bouncer. We call it bouncer, means running the club. And I have some dispute with a few guys. Well, every day I get death threat and everything, but I just ignore them. But unfortunately, on that morning, when I finished the club, I was a bit tired. I wasn't aware of anything. I realized something is coming from behind. I don't know what it was. As I turned around, I felt something hit on my knee. It was a baseball bat, eventually I found out later. And then I fell to the ground and they tried to, actually, they wanted to kill me. But thanks God, I could defend myself. And also luckily, the police car arrived at the particular time, saved my life.
So how many of them attacked you?
There are about 5 of them.
5 of them. And what was their reason for attacking you? Were they were from a gang, right?
Well, probably a gang, or because they came to my club, they were stealing drinks behind the bar. So I was working as a bouncer. I need to, get rid of them. So maybe, they have a grudge on that.
Yeah. So, getting constant death threats from different kind of gang members who are partying and all that stuff, like that can be kind of worrying as well. Like, how did that make you feel?
Yes, of course. I mean, at that time, you have no choice. I need to work. I need to make some money. I need to pay my rent, my school fee, my food. So you have to get on with your life. I felt very worried every day, but I have to get on with my life.
So, even after going through all of this, and, that's already a lot for a lot of people to handle. So you made some fortunes in certain areas, but then also the economy boomed and crashed, and you lost a lot as well, and obviously that's very difficult. Do you want to explain about that?
Well, I was also very enterprising. I like to do businesses, and I have a lot of properties here and there. At the time, it's quite easy to borrow money. Probably I over borrow it. Unfortunately, in 2008, the economy crashed. So everything just went down overnight. I lost almost everything. So everybody blames me, including my family. So eventually, every day, me and my ex-wife were fighting every day. So I have to leave my home. Actually, I was in the street, but I slept in my car. But deep inside, I still need to be a responsible person. So I make sure my children still got a home and food is provided for them.
Yeah. So, how does it feel like? Because from the 70s until 2008, every 10 years, it seems like there was a boom bust cycle, and like losing like 40 million in property portfolio and, 20 different businesses. How did that feel like, losing all this stuff and even your family? How did you feel in those times?
Well, obviously, nobody want to lose anything. At that time,
I think even if people, they lose £1, they get upset, right?
I know, yeah. I felt really anxious, worried, what's going to happen to me and my family. And I just worry, I just don't know what to do. And the only way I could do is just hopefully look forward for another day.
So as well as all this stuff throughout the years, you've lost like a lot of friends. You've seen them, even you said one of your friends was murdered, and even your teacher and stuff like. So that is also a lot, right?
Yes, and along the way, my mentor passed away, and also
he was like a father figure
it was
to you.
well, yeah, he was like a father figure to me because when I was here, he was only mentor that helps me, teaches me the martial arts, and truly take care of me. And one day, I witnessed my friend who runs a local takeaway shop. A couple of kids went in and start stabbing him. It was a racist thing, and as when I rush to him, and he died in my arms. So it was quite a dramatic feeling for me, and I was so upset. I was really, really, really down. So after this, I went and helped the family to get over all this loss. And it was a hard time for me, but I still have to stay strong to help them. It was a difficult time. And so on February the 2017, I received news that my brother passed away due to kidney failures in hospital. I was saddened that he was only 1 year older than me. He had diabetes due to his lifestyle. I remember seeing him for the last time and knowing that this is coming. I prepared for it, but it's still difficult. On April the 28th, 2017, the same year, my mother passed away. She was in coma in the hospital as expected. I remember went home to visit her 6 months before her passing. I knew in my heart that this will be the last time I see her alive.
Yeah, so that is losing a mom is, and even a brother and friends is a very tough thing. So you've been through a lot, yet you managed to stay calm and enjoy the process, right?
Yes, I have to stay calm because life have to go on, and I have to go on, and I have responsibility with my children.
So that's not easy because a lot of people, when they face issues, sometimes even one of these issues can completely take you out, let alone all of these over like combined and the level of these issues. So without the anxiety answer and the kind of like the roadmap and that training, do you think you would have been able to
No.
to still stand?
No way, no way. Yeah, I will give up.
So despite going through all this hardship and challenges and constant anxiety and trauma and loss, and you still had a very fruitful life.
Yes, despite all my challenges, I finally have the chance to enjoy the fruits of my hard work. After all my hard training, I became a martial art expert, achieving my dream of even meeting Bruce Lee. I didn't realize it was from the same martial art family, and I was so proud of it. I was also invited to break multiple world records on bricks and also become a Guinness World Record holder. One of the things I always wanted to do is to take my martial arts to the next level, and I've always wanted to be a stuntman in Hollywood. and I finally achieved these dreams. And I got to know some of the top director, producer, like George Lucas, Spielberg, and even become friends with Harrison Ford. I was also lucky enough to travel the world to bodyguard Qatari Prince. It was a wonderful time, and I spent a year with that.
How did you get that opportunity? It sounds unbelievable.
Yes, so I used to work as a bouncer in the club, and one night there was a Bentley drove past and parked next to the club, and he came out, and five or six of these Jamaicans came into him and wanted to rob him. So I went over to see how he was, and those Jamaican guys, they knew me, so they left him alone, and he was very impressed. So he invited me, no, just not be bodyguard, to be his friend, and to just keep an eye on him, when he traveled the world.
So then eventually you became his top bodyguard.
Yes, he likes what I do, and and I'm very sharp in doing many things. So he wanted me to be the head of his bodyguard.
So when he traveled, what kind of responsibilities did he give you? And you used to have to check under the car for bombs and all this
Yes,
stuff,
yes,
right?
yes.
So
So I have to make sure that the car is safe. I make sure that everything is right, because it's also a royalty. So it's quite a big job for me, and sometimes can be a lot of pressure. So I did that for 1 year. I enjoyed that.
and then I guess like this guy is trusting his security to you. So he's actually outsourcing his anxiety to you to feel safe. So how did you make him feel safe and secure?
So because when I do my job, I make sure I'm always calm and focused. That's the key. So I'm very clear every day where he go, what he does, where he have his lunch, where he have his dinner, and when he go back to bed. So I'll make sure everything is all in order. So at that time, it was a Bruce Lee craze. It was martial art craze everywhere. I have schools and students worldwide, and created a number of successful businesses around this. It was the most enjoyable time of my life. The best thing in my life was, even though through these challenges, up and down in my life, I had 7 beautiful children. I'm truly blessed.
Yeah, so on the other side of all the challenges is if you make it through. Sometimes it's like the universe is testing you. Is if you can overcome these, then there are also very good rewards. Would you say that's correct?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Because it allows you to handle and earn the right to have these great rewards. So it can be a very positive thing too.
It is very positive, because if you've never been through that process, you will never understand how truly life can be challenging.
Yeah, and then how to maintain everything.
And how to maintain it, and the only way to do it is to stay calm and focus.
So we want to go over a case study with you for one of our clients who did the anxiety answer course. And as you can see on the left side, this is when he first started with us. And, part of our program is accountability. So we have records every single day. And if you look at his face, he looks kind of sad, lost, and very anxious, not very happy. And when he came to us, he was depressed. And now this is nearly 9 months, 1 year later. And he says that he's consistently calm every day. He no longer has panic attacks. And you can see, look, he's matured. He looks much more confident and not so sad. So for Zoe, he was studying in the London School of Economics in the UK.
Yeah, he failed to get a job upon graduation, believing that a degree from a top-tier university was enough to gain employment. He suffered from anxiety and he had depression.
Yeah, because when he didn't get a job, he spent 3 years, and he had the belief that of getting into one of the world's best universities would almost guarantee him or make him entitled to a job. And because the preparations wasn't there, all this expectation from his family and even himself of how come I couldn't even get a job after graduating. So that led him go into a vicious cycle of the anxiety and depression.
Well, he didn't want to return home because of family and society pressure. But after moving back to Vietnam, he had to adapt to a different society, and expectation was difficult for him to fulfill to make his parents happy.
Yeah, so one of the reasons he wanted to stay in the UK, because when you belong to an Asian society, especially a successful Asian family, they have a lot of expectations for you, you know, especially if they've sent you overseas. And in a traditional Vietnamese family, you have to go home on time, you have to limit your socializing, you have to follow everything that the family wants, and that can be a lot of pressure sometimes. And so in order to escape that, he wanted to stay in the UK, but ultimately he went back and had to face the music.
So he had numerous health issues. The anxiety manifested into physical health issues, including heart palpitations and anxiety attacks.
Yeah, so he used to like wake up in the middle of the night, random heart palpitations, like he was having a heart attack, and would go to the hospital, and you know, had other issues like H. pylori, you know, pains, and mainly he was depressed and just in a state of anxious, worrying about the next move. And when you're in a state of depression and anxiety, it is almost paralyzing. So even the idea of him finding a new job was very difficult.
After doing the anxiety answer course, he started to feel calmer and more focused after a few months. He started to get his life back and navigate himself out of this difficult situation. And now he got a job as a teacher in school. His life had turned around and he's truly enjoying his life, free from anxiety and panic attack.
Yeah, and you know what he says is that he's consistently calm every day, and that's fantastic. That's a huge transformation. So another case study is myself. So my name's Joe, and I'm the chief operations officer at the Natural Method company now. But it was not always like that. So as you can see in the left, my face is very bloated. I have dark circles and I look lost, you know, and I just didn't really take care of myself. And after doing this training course with Austin, you know, it completely changed my life. Not only did I not have anxiety, panics, and depression, in fact, you know, I had the confidence, skills, and health to start my own technology consultancy, which was successful and had some of the biggest clients and brands in the world. And I got to travel the world after that. And now with Austin, I'm helping him, and we are helping millions of people every month with the natural method. So before, I couldn't even help myself. I couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. So this has been a very huge help for me.
Well, when I first met Joe, I did not know that Joe had a hard childhood, come from a broken family and homeless. And not knowing his history as a child, I cannot understand how he always tired and sick all the time.
So yeah, just to add to Austin's point is, you know, my mom raised me as a single mother, and it was a very there was a lot of love there, but it was a very difficult childhood. We moved 10 to 20 times. We even moved countries, and there was a lot of domestic violence and different partners, and it was just confusing as a kid, you know, because my mom used to say to me, "I'm not just your mom, I'm your father too," and that confuses you as a kid. And when you meet other children who who have grown up with both of their parents, and you can start to compare, you start to realize something is wrong with me, you know, something's not quite right. And unfortunately, at one point in my childhood, when we were running away from the people who were doing the domestic violence, we ended up homeless too. So it was a very, very unstable and very difficult childhood.
He also suffered from seasonal depression, social anxiety, paranoid, and panic attacks.
Yeah, and that that would that would really affect me throughout my life. I was very shy, underconfident, and my mind would just be going, always thinking that maybe I have cancer, or maybe I have all this other stuff, or people were coming to attack us, and I wouldn't be confident even enough to talk to people. And it just never stopped. Even when I would go to the cinema, I would just have a random anxiety attack, like somebody would blow up the cinema. Or sometimes I'll be laying at home and thinking I'm having a heart attack. My heart would just start racing. So it really paralyzed me for the most of my life.
To add to this, his fear of flying and negative thinking. Due to his computer work, he's constantly on the screen, and this led to burnout, anxiety, and depression.
Yeah, and despite trying to bury this anxiety and just ignore it and try to face the problem and overcome it and be tough and be a man and all this kind of stuff, it would always rear back its ugly head. And as I tried to achieve things in my life and I went to have to fly to different meetings and stuff like that, I would be so anxious and sweating on every flight because I had a fear of flying, and it was so torturous.
Unfortunately, in 2019, he lost his mother, who was suffering from cancer. It was devastating and a big blow for him. I can only help him to get over it slowly, but he needed to do it himself, and the anxiety answer course gave him a sense of calm and relief. In my heart, I felt so sorry for him, but end of the day, he need to go through this himself. I can only give him my support all the way. He's getting over it now, and he's much more calmer and is getting on with his young life.
Yeah, so even after going through the course and fighting all these demons and finding that sense of calm and inner peace and happiness every single day, this training continued to pay dividends for me because, as Austin said, last 1 year ago or a year and a half ago, unfortunately, my mom, we found out she had cancer just very last minute and that she was going to die the next day. So it was a massive shock, and thank God that I had this course and training to navigate the situation as well as be running the businesses. Otherwise, I would have went under. And especially being 27, it's very young, and to be able to handle all of that pressure, I would not have been able to do it without this training. So I'm very thankful to Austin and to this training for the rest of my life. It truly works. So what we're going to cover really now is what we like to call the unexplored frontier.
So the establishment versus the anxiety answer course. In the industrial civilization, we are only just venturing into the mind. Our knowledge of neuroscience and the body and mind connection is very limited.
Yeah, so it's actually surprising because we think that we are a modern technological society and that we have all the answers. But especially in Western civilization, we're only just starting to explore into the mind. And we don't have a very deep knowledge of actually how to control the mind and how to address mental problems. So mental illnesses and mental health is actually a growing issue worldwide. And there's not any kind of bulletproof solutions out there, only really quick fixes and stuff that you can hide.
Your anxiety problem cannot be solved in isolation. In the traditional thinking, if I have issues in my anxiety, I will be given drugs to calm myself down. This is just a temporary fix, and you will be on medication all your life, and this can result to several side effects.
And what we find is that a lot of the solutions that are out there, that's why we call it the establishment, is they try to attack it in isolation. So, okay, let me try some medication. So this is just the mind, but the mind and the body is connected. So you need to address both, right?
Yeah.
And, or let me try a subliminals, but that's just the mind as well. So in order to really solve the issue, you have to look at it in a whole sense, as a complete system.
So in the anxiety answer course, we look at the whole body and mind, the environment and mind, and the lifestyle, and then pinpoint what triggered the anxiety and panic attack. Once we know the exact cause, we will tailor you the correct solution to get rid of your anxiety. A lot of people ask me about meditation. Meditation is a useful tool, but it has to be used in the right timing. When all the condition is in place, then you will be able to meditate.
Yeah, and what we find is, especially myself, when you are full of anxiety and you're so restless and you can't even focus for more than 2 minutes, it's very difficult to meditate. So you have to be in the right frame of mind to be able to meditate. And that's why meditation alone cannot solve your anxiety. It's definitely part of the system and part of our system too. But as Austin said, it's about the right timing when you're ready to meditate and the chaos is calmer for you to be able to meditate.
Not to worry. Part of this course will help you to achieve this, to calm your mind down and help you to focus and meditate. The solution are focused on more, not less. We look into all other issues that can trigger your anxiety, your working and family environment, other health issues, and so on. Once we know the details, we can connect the dots and tailor you with the right solutions. The body and mind are interconnected. We need to understand how the body works, and they are connected to one another.
Yeah, so this comes back to the isolation point, which is the way we're going to help you to overcome your anxiety and get it under control is by considering the body aspect too, and the mind, and the connection between both of them. And once these are both in sync, then you will be able to control your anxiety.
It's important for us to know whatever we do, we will also have to understand our environment will affect our well-being. This can trigger your anxiety and panic attack.
Yes. So we mentioned this a bit earlier in the video too, which is it's all good and well you being calm, but if your environment is polluted, you will be influenced by that. So you have to learn how to adapt to your environment too. And that's also a key part of what we're going to teach you.
So living with calm is a way of life.
Yes. So once you implement this system, this will become a way of life for you, and calm will be a way of life. And it will help you to navigate through the challenges that you will face, because life is full of challenges too.
Keys to your calm. Important things you need to remember. You must be honest with yourself and be transparent with us. Let the team know everything that you have been doing and what other help or solution you've been doing. We are here to help you as part of our extended family.
Yeah, we find that the people who have the most success are radically transparent. And what that means is that they tell us what they really feel. Because as your extended family, we're not going to judge you, and we're not really too concerned with the details. You know, sometimes you may feel like punching someone because you're so anxious or angry. We're not going to feel like, oh, you're a bad person. All we're really concerned with is your health and your happiness. And in order to effectively solve the problem, you have to be honest with yourself and be honest with us too.
Nothing is a failure. Our team are here to make sure you have the right support and help you to get to the next level. We will be completely direct and transparent with you.
Yeah. And throughout the journey, if you're making progress, we're going to tell you, okay, you're making good progress. But if we feel like you're dropping the ball or you're not putting in enough effort, we will also tell you. So we're not going to butter you up. We will tell you exactly what we feel and where we stand, because our job is to get you results.
In order for you to progress, we will be honest with you when we give you feedback. You will have to want it more than anything else.
Yeah. In order for you to achieve the result of being calm, as Austin says, you're going to need to really want it. You're going to want it so bad that you're willing to change things and that you don't give up, okay? And if you really want this, then you will achieve it.
Make sure you communicate closely with the team. You must also know that there are things you must avoid in all these traps. Not following the system and instruction to the letter. You need to make sure you follow the instruction to the letter.
Yeah, so, you know, this is a system, and this system is designed for your success with anxiety. And if you follow it to the letter, as Dway did, as I did, we can almost guarantee that you will be successful, because it's not just helped us, this has helped hundreds and thousands of people throughout your career, right?
Yes.
Okay, so all you have to do is follow the system exactly, follow our advice, and you will succeed.
Getting stuck in a victim identity. Do not feel sorry for yourself. Just be positive and focus on the cause.
So although, you know, even for us, we covered the struggles that we've been through,
Yes.
right, in
Yes.
our life so far, but we're not saying hey, look at me, oh, let's feel sorry for these people. That's not our goal with this. It's just our goal to say, look, we've also faced challenges, but if you take on a victim identity, like, oh, everything happens to me, it's going to be very hard for you to change. So in order for you to succeed in this, we're going to need you to take responsibility for your actions and for what your environment, because only then will you be able to gain the control to control your anxiety. The people who fail, they are not willing to change their victim identity.
Another trap is not asking for help from the team. Make sure you ask us if you have any issues while doing the course. We're here to support you 24/7.
Yeah, so what we say is when you work with us, you're part of our extended family and we will help you unconditionally. And we mean that. As long as you're willing to follow the system and put in the work, we will help you until you reach your goal, you know? And those who succeed are the ones who do the work and ask for feedback and implement our advice. So if you don't ask for help from the team, once you've done everything, then you will not succeed. And you have to avoid that trap. Do not try to be an island. You know, you are part of the family. You can work with us and then you will succeed.
Avoid these traps too. The miracle solution. As we know that there are no miracle solution in life. All this takes hard work, dedication, and action to achieve your goal.
Yeah, yeah. You will have to earn your calm and you will have to put in the work. And it will take time and it will take effort and you will have to be patient, but it'll be worth it.
Another thing that is like feeling that you know everything.
Yeah, so a lot of people come to us and they've tried many different solutions, right?
Yes, right, yeah.
And you gotta be teachable.
Yes.
So, you know, you may have tried meditation, you may have tried 100 different things, but unfortunately, they haven't worked so far for you because otherwise the problem will be solved. So when you do this course, you have to approach this as a student, forget about all the knowledge and information that you've accumulated so far, and just focus on the process. And you take a baby beginner's mind. Is that right?
That's right.
Part of this course is successfully building habits. And because we can't be there physically with you, we will watch your videos on Telegram and we will give you feedback after you've corrected yourself to make sure you're doing everything correctly. And this allows us to see you as if you are in front of us.
Ask questions in the community portal or submit them privately.
Yeah, so we are providing you with a community of like-minded people who are also going through what you're going through. And, you know, sometimes we know it can be embarrassing or you feel shy to share some private details. So we also offer you anonymity where you can submit questions and stuff privately too. But we encourage you to share in the community because we are all going through the same issues.
The team and I will be happy to give you support and help. Reference the materials you need to finish the worksheets that we have given to you. If you have any more issues, please email info@austingo.com. Let's go to work on ourselves.